What's up, everybody? This is Talkin All That Kazz, and I am DJ Kazzeo. I want to thank you for checking out this particular episode of Talkin All That Kazz. On this particular episode, I got another great interview that I conducted here on my radio show at 90.9 FM, KHTC in Salinas, California. But before we get going with that, I want you to go to this address, djkazzeo.com, and connect with me on social media. Whether it's on my Facebook, on my Instagram, on my Twitter, or even if you go and subscribe to my Mixcloud channel, you can hear all my radio shows that I do in their entirety, music, commentary, and interviews. But this right here, Talkin All That Kazz, this is for just the interviews, okay? I want to thank everybody who checked out the first round of interviews that I put up. Now we're on to the second round. This particular round, I'm going to focus on 2019, but I'm going to sprinkle it in with some more current stuff too. So you never know what you're going to get. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy another edition of Talkin All That Kazz with me, DJ Kazzeo. That's right, man. We back in the place right here. It's the one and only Wednesday Rec Show. Yours truly, Kazzeo.
Jason Escobar.
And I'm 7.
That's right, man. And we got a special guest joining us on the line. They go by the name of Black Stax. Felicia, Jace, what's going on, my friends?
How you doing? How you doing?
Everything.
That's right, man. That's right. I want to welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you very much. We're very much appreciated, and we wanted to say to you, congratulations for 25 years on the air doing your thing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So, you know what? Let's talk about you guys. Tell me about the origin of the group, how it came together, and where does the name Black Stax come from?
That's dope. Okay, so Black Stax originated in 2009. It was a collaboration between the one and only songbird, SCA songbird, as we like to call her, Felicia Loud, a sister who could carry her own weight with lyrics, was a dope performer, was known around the city for doing real soulful, real vibey, real genuine music. And then I come from the era of Silent Lamb Project. That's a boom bap hip hop group. We were established and we collaborated in 2009 with Felicia Loud, and we had the sounds of Owo Arunga on the horn. And we just created this sound that we thought that was missing. We wanted to remain hip-hop because that's true to our culture, it's true to our roots, it's true to who we are, true to what we stand for by going against the grain. And so we didn't want to be the next anything. We wanted to be the first whatever we were creating. And so in what we ended up was we talked about who we are, what we represent, what we love, what we respect, what can be mirrored anywhere in the world. And the word that kept coming back was black, because you had black men and you had black women, you know, a black woman and a black man. And so, and then we talked about, you know, how we were using all the elements of the music, from bebop to hip-hop, from jazz to blues, from soul to gospel, from disco to African drum, you know, to all the sounds of black music. And we wanted to pattern ourselves after something that had already been here. So Stax Records was more formidable to what we were looking for. It was more polished dirt. It was a little more gritty. It wasn't as Motown. It wasn't as polished. It wasn't as commercial, if you will. And so we looked at Stax Records, and so we came up with the name Black Stax.
Right on. Felicia, anything you want to add to that?
No, that was pretty much it. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, that was it. That was worded perfectly. I don't want to mess up nothing.
Well, I asked you that question because I had heard you guys kind of like elaborate on it on the conference call a couple weeks ago. But I wanted to ask even a little bit further than that. I mean, so particularly with Stax, I mean, you talk about like Rufus Thomas, talk about the Barcades, that kind of stuff, Isaac Hayes and all that. So, I mean, you know, do you incorporate the kind of like the mind state of the label, or are you using, you know, actual samples and that kind of stuff from the music?
Some of that has been a part of where the direction in which we're going. As Jay said, you know, we want to be the first us, the first Black Stax, you know, and in terms of how we came together and what we want to offer as far as, the listening audience. We want that to be the first. But, of course, we want to recognize Stax Records, their contribution, yes, their mindset. That's perfect. Because, in terms of this independence and how you have to have a respect for what it is that you're not only doing in your art, but what you're doing in service. And so they had a servitude that was quite large that I didn't learn about until, later on in years after I'd listened to the music. Black Stax is one of the things that we talk about, and that incredible humanity of giving and saying, no, we don't need to make money. We know how to make money. We know how to do that independently. We know that we have good talent. We know that we have good people that are supportive, but how do we service a community that is in pain? And that was them at that time. I'm not saying in comparison us to that, but that mindset of being knowledgeable about acknowledging the fact that when people are in need and you can offer them a service plus be able to make some type of kickback in order to keep doing what you're doing, to offer people $1 and they can pay it and they want to get there to get healed and they're having a good time and it's all night long. So yeah, that mindset of how to service as well is a part of, yes, how we function daily.
There it is. That's what's up right there. You guys are based in Seattle, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
So how is it putting together your project from not necessarily an untapped territory, but kind of a little bit of a lesser known region when it comes to hip hop?
Well, that's a great question, because I think a lot of times when people talk about Seattle, they think about what's current and what is popular, and they don't really understand the foundation of the city. And so, the Northwest has made some great contributions to the art, but it is hard because you have a mind state that's different. Somebody said it to me really, really, really nice when we came back from Chicago. They said it's a different climate. And so in Seattle, it's a little more laid back. It's a little more, we move at our own pace. It's a little more, you can be creative, but we call it the workshop. It's a place where you kind of hone your skills and you kind of, get to try new things out. You get to work in elements and disciplines that, you may not normally get a chance to in something that's moving a little faster. So I think as far as being known or lesser, not getting necessarily the recognition that, if we were in a Bay Area or we were in a Los Angeles or New York or Atlanta or UK, yeah, it's different, but I think there's a piece of solace where you get to craft, hone your craft a little bit up here.
Right. Well, you know what? I'm not the only one in here. I got my co-hosts M7 and
yes, sir.
Escobar. You guys got any questions for Black Stax?
I mean, honestly, this is sad to say, but I'm happy to say that this is the first time I hear about you guys and about your group. And I mean, just hearing this interview, it sounds like what you have to offer is exactly what's kind of missing from a lot of mainstream artists today. Just kind of keeping alive that consciousness and trying to have, kind of a purpose behind the music. Like, it's not just a party. It's not just to unwind. I mean, music does do that, but when it has a message behind it and when it has something that uplifts and creates that open-minded space, I mean, it just pushes boundaries and really it does break down a lot of barriers that currently hold us back. So thank you for those contributions, and I look forward to checking out the music.
Yeah, me as well.
Yes, please do. Enjoy.
That's dope.
Do you guys find it harder or easier to get yourself heard, being that, like you said, you guys are going against the grain and you guys are trying to create something? Is it easier to get heard, or are you finding it harder to get your music out there?
I think with being independent, against when you're on your own in terms of, like, you don't have a big label that is doing some of the work that we have to do, and honestly, a lot of the work that Jace does and a lot of work that Vita Agency does for what we're doing. it can seem hard, but when you're doing it for yourself and you're coming from the groundwork and you know the ins and outs of what to expect, that makes it easy. When someone else has the control and they're leading you, so to speak, because they have a paycheck in front of you, then that in itself gets a little difficult. And that's not to say that every record company, every label is out to, to use you and take advantage of you, but it is to say that sometimes it's easier to just be your own master, of what it is that you're doing. So I think that what's difficult is when that money can put a blockage in front of the work that you're doing. The wonderful thing is that people have an independent mind. So sometimes they just go, well, who's this? Well,
that's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the other thing, too, is like you get to run into people like yourselves who are playing the music, and you don't have to play the music, but you've been exposed to the music, and obviously, it fits the mix. And that's the other thing about music is the diversity. Hip-hop was at its greatest when we were at our most diverse in time. I remember hip-hop as the golden era, but the reason it was the golden era because you could hear NWA and De La Soul in the same club. You know what I'm saying? You could hear Public Enemy and Souls of Mischief in the same club. You could hear Raw Digga, not Raw Digga, Bahama D and Miss Melody. You would hear it in the same, so it wouldn't be like you only were playing a certain BPM or a certain mind state. It was open. So the great thing about being independent is that we can create art, and art doesn't have, nobody can control that.
That's right. That's right. Hey, before we let you guys go, we're going to jump into Unexpected Shots. Break down what this song is about and let us know what we need to know as far as catching up with you guys on social media.
Right on. Unexpected Shots. So this creation by J.C. Cage, there are times where you don't know where your next fix is coming up, be it, a shot that is fired from, a firearm, be it, when you watch babies get a shot before their vaccine, whether it's, you hear a shout out or whatever, but when it comes, you're in the moment, you're right there. And sometimes those shots can give you a reality that you never would have imagined because you haven't experienced it. So it also, and that's one aspect. But the other aspect is that we have, a lot of young black children, I'll put it that way, who are experiencing shots and for reasons unknown. And so wanting to pay, not only tribute, but also put acknowledgement in those who are living that talk about their friends who have passed through violence and going, this was unexpected. I didn't expect this in high school. I didn't expect this in junior high. I didn't expect this in elementary. And so I want to be able, and so I think that this song gives a voice to that and says also how do we rise from that and continue forward from that.
Produced by DJ Shingy, embellishments by DJ Armand, Baba Ade. You hear the voice of Erica E. Bells, and of course Felicia Loud and Jace E. Cage. Black Stax, making moves all day, every day. You can reach us at blackstaxmusic.com. You can reach us at Instagram at _black_stacks. You can reach us at Facebook at black.stacks. It's stacks upon stacks upon stacks upon stacks. And we appreciate y'all having us on. And thank you for the listeners for paying attention to our music. Much respect.
Absolutely, man. Well, I want to thank you guys for taking the time. Look forward to hearing what's next after this. And thank you guys for recording those drops for my anniversary show coming up.
Oh, my goodness.
And congratulations again for 25.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's up. All right, we're going to talk to you guys soon, all right?